There are about like 3 topics I really want to try and pull together in this message right now. Number 1 are the energy upgrades. So yesterday, from when I'm filming this, so December 19th, and then also December 21st are 2 notable ones. And then I want to talk about this topic of 10x. I'll get into that and how it's very quantum and a quantum perspective and just how we can do things differently, especially in this new timeline and this new year and everything. And then also the other topic is like this, what are we gonna call it? Like a spiral? Not a spiral, a loop. It's kind of like a loop. It's like a, there was another word for it that kept coming through. It's kind of like being in a loop. So the first one, we had this major energetic event yesterday, and 3i Atlas was, I believe the situation was that it was closest to Earth. And so 3i Atlas, you know, maybe it's a comet from another galaxy, maybe it's a spaceship, maybe it's a whatever, you know, there's different ideas. What I feel to be true is that it is some sort of an object, some sort of a technology that has upgrades for us. Like, it's undeniable how every single time there is this like a certain kind of upgrade that we're expecting. My hair's kind of wild today. I think I'm gonna go back to brunette. I think I've finally made my decision and gonna get a haircut now that I live in civilization here in Portugal. And but it's undeniable that every single time there has been like said that there's going to be an energetic event from 3i Atlas, there's always something very big that happens on Earth, or like a really big event. And like, politics and sides aside, for some reason, like all this Charlie Kirk stuff and like his company of Turning Point USA, like I'm watching and observing like the timelines of when everything has happened in regards to that, and like all the events after his death, and like him having a certain day named after him, like everything, and like their company event recently, like everything has been very much lining up with all these upgrades, which has been just interesting. That's all I can say. Is like, I don't even really have any opinions right now like about all of that. It's just, there's so much going on in the world, and there's so much truth that is being uncovered. And people, what I've noticed is that people are so smart. Like, it's not smart, but like, yes, but like intuitive. Like, when I look at the comments of anything going on in the world right now, like people, their intuition is just so quick to point out like authenticity in somebody online. And I think there's been a part of me that as I'm watching like all these debates and all these sides and all this chaos and everything come up, I'm just like, wow, it really does take a lot of courage for people to show up online and like state what they feel is true and what they believe in and all this stuff. But then it also, like, so yes, I think that it's brave and courageous, and for some reason that just has to come through as what I've been observing. And then of course I have to face my own mental blocks of like showing up myself, and I'm like, while I'm watching this and thinking that, I'm like, oh yeah, I have a platform and that's what I do. Like, I also have to, not have to, but choose to go make a video. And then I, you know, there's a part of me that's like, are you in integrity? Are you in your authenticity? Are you showing up fully? Like, because everyone's gonna sniff you out if you're not. And that was a big part of my subconscious patterns, was being potentially labeled as like a phony or a fake, because that was just kind of like what certain family members would always say to me growing up, was like, oh, you're so fake. And they didn't like the sound of my voice and just like things like that. And so that was wired into me. So I've had to kind of live with that voice and acknowledge when it's there and it tries to like rip me down to not doing what I want to be doing on Earth. But usually the the biggest, loudest, most difficult patterns that we face are like right on the other side of them is everything that we want. And so I always know whenever I hear that voice, I'm like, everything that I want is on the other side of that and facing that. But also, I think that with these energy upgrades that are happening right now, what is happening for the collective is that our intuition is stronger than ever. Truth is more apparent than ever. Authenticity is more obvious than ever. And so as the world is shifting, no matter what, like all these people that I'm witnessing in the comments, like I don't think that all of them are like on a necessarily like a spiritual journey where they would call it a spiritual journey. I think we're all on a spiritual journey, but like I don't think that each one of these people who are sensing into whether it's true or not, or whatever true is, like they're sensing into something. I think that is being super heightened right now with everything going on. And then also it's like the other side of it is if you are more tuned into the energies and more tuned into your spiritual journey and more on that co-creation journey with the divine, with God, with, you know, with your reality, I think that these energy upgrades are very much so opening up and unlocking this new timeline, this new experience here on Earth. And so what is coming through right now is that your identity might be shifting a lot right now. Your identity might be shifting a lot right now. And I've just been witnessing that in my own journey. And as I'm preparing for the New Year's Eve ceremony that I'm putting together for you guys, if you want to sign up for that, you don't have to do it on New Year's Eve. You can do it leading up to New Year's Eve. You can do it the months after. Someone had just asked, like, is there access the months after? Yes, you can do it after. You can come back to it. You'll have access to it. So if you want to sign up for that, I'm very, very much excited about that. So I've been sitting with it and sitting with like gathering my photos, and I've also been setting up a Notion template. And so I decided to for 2026 just try and really get so organized, because I'm a visionary. That's like my gift, and that's what I've come to realize is what I'm doing in my reality, is that I'm pursuing being a visionary and trying to create systems that allow those visions to be fulfilled, because I'm not so much of a fulfiller. Like I can, but that takes something that is not naturally my strength. And so in order for me to be a visionary and to see projects through, I really need organization. And so and maybe that's important for somebody, is that like maybe 2026 is, maybe you've been feeling called to it. Maybe this is your sign to try and get organized in a new way. I know that I really thrive, like actually thrive the best, like when I look back in like college and whatnot, when I first discovered tools for organization. Like it sounds so silly, but not everybody is doing this. It really changed my life. And so I think I was just doing like a normal planner. Like I love a good big planner. But I also do love like the functions of something in technology if I can really understand it. If I don't understand it, then I just won't use it. So I've been studying, like not studying, but like watching the tutorial video on how to use this. It was one that I just found on Etsy. You can get like Notion templates on Etsy, and it's like really beautiful. It has like so many options for business, for life, for health, for everything. And so I've been gathering photos to put into customizing my Notion. So now this Notion template, it feels like me, all organized, my visions, my dreams, and it feels like well, part of it is that and I think that this really needs to be its own video too. It's like taking yourself serious, like your visions serious, because there will be so many subconscious blocks that will tell us, and this is what I mean by everything that we want is on the other side of usually like those like really prominent subconscious blocks that like for me have been so easily noted now because of dream life sleep hypnosis. So those, when I stop, it's so interesting, when I stop listening to my dream life sleep hypnosis, the pattern of having to sit in the backseat and watch the my dream life be someone else's dream life, and then also having to play small in order to be loved, like the dreams of my narcissist ex will come back. I think that that won't happen for everybody, but because I'm in such a season of change, like I've just moved to a new country, like and so after like having like such a massive, what felt like massive to me, like leaving Italy and then going to Ireland and having Ireland be so unexpected and getting stranded there for 5 months and then like landing here in Portugal, which is so unexpected but so beautiful, and like now just kind of being in this. So I think that my subconscious is like trying to latch on to familiar old patterns, and so so I've been able to note those. But the subconscious will often tell us that like our dreams are just dreams, like they're just visions, or like whatever the pattern is, like, oh yeah, you have visions, but like you don't actually see them through, or like other people can have your visions but not you, whatever the belief is that you have. And so taking your dreams very seriously, especially right now, I think is like so important. That's kind of what this organization, this Notion thing is to me. It's like, here's my projects, here's like the clearly seeing, like if you could see my notes app file, like the note in my phone that has been like my organization, like it just reflected to me that I wasn't actually like really taking my visions seriously to the point of like where they need to be in order to be where I'm like, where my dream life is, like what I'm programming in. And so I think like through listening to my dream life in my sleep hypnosis and like repeating that and working through those blocks, I've been able to see the systems that are not supporting the vision, which has been really cool. And so with these upgrades happening right now, I feel like, back to the identity part, I feel that your identity might be shifting in a way that like it just, there's almost like a grief with it. Like there's a grief with having to let go of who you were, and that's just part of life. But when you actually reach that point, it's really confronting, because you're like, well, the subconscious, again, it is your nervous system is how you experience reality. Your subconscious is how you form your reality. And so your subconscious will latch to what's familiar. So as you're in this identity shift, which you will be going through as we're moving into this new timeline, especially if you're aware and awake to these things that are happening and you're co-creating in them. So you're going through this identity shift, and then the subconscious will be like looking at the old you. For example, as I'm picking these photos for my Notion and my vision board and the New Year's Eve ceremony, like getting ready for that, I have like my old photos that I would have used in my vision boards, where it's like very whimsical and free-spirited and like a van and horses, and I love my horses still. Like I still plan on going back and seeing Ladybug, even if I don't live on the farm in Indy, and all the other horses and everything. And I love horses. I always want to have some kind of relationship with horses in my life, but not necessarily how I did. And I don't really want to do van life again. I think that I would love to have a van at one point, but I really am liking house life and like the stability, and like that's kind of what I was processing in this experience of looking at old photos that I have saved in my Pinterest or on my computer versus the new photos that I'm choosing, and just how different they are. Like one is very stable and like clean and balanced and easy, and the other one is very much like free and whimsical and like galloping in the middle of the forest kind of thing. Ah! Falling off a chair. Just dropped my phone. I'm trying no case life for some reason. I don't know why. I think I just need to get a new case, because this is a side tangent, but I've been good at bringing it back today. And so my hands were getting really achy. I think that a lot of people were having kind of weird symptoms recently with all these energy upgrades. But in Ireland, as I was getting ready to come here, I was eating like the diet of the family friends I was staying with the last couple weeks, and it just was not a diet that really my body agrees with, and I was really achy and I couldn't even really hold my phone at one point. And so I took my case off because my case was very heavy with like my whole wallet. So anyway, that's that. But the achiness is gone. I think that this is important to note too, because I think that this is in alignment with these energy upgrades, but it's gonna look different for everybody. So leading up until this point, this like end of the year, end of the 9-year cycle, where, you know, this, I don't know if it's end of like 3i Atlas stuff, but it's been like a few months of this, and leading up to it, especially doing dream life sleep hypnosis, like there were so many like ascension symptoms. Like that's just what it felt like. Like I was up till 4 a.m. for a while, like in those last few weeks in Ireland. Like every night I was up till 4 a.m. I was dysregulated, I was tired, I was stressed, I was like all these things. But I was also kind of like feeling very strange. Even before that, when I didn't really know, I didn't have dream life sleep hypnosis yet, or maybe I had just started, but I was like living in the hay barn in Italy or in Ireland. I was having heart palpitations, waking up in the middle of the night, like just like very strange things, but exactly how it's explained that other people are experiencing ascension symptoms and things with these energy upgrades that have been happening. But now it's so nice to see that that has been going away for me, and for the first time in a very, 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 very long time, like I don't know the last time, I think it was like 8 months ago when I had a high HRV. So your HRV is your heart rate variability. It signals when your nervous system is functioning well. And so for me, because I have underlying the condition of mast cell activation syndrome, which I finally am like really like taking serious, I guess. Like I'm acknowledging that that is part of my makeup, and like maybe one day I won't have it, but working with it I think is part of my lesson, and also like it's in a way my gift. And so I've been eating a low histamine diet. I've been, you know, really acknowledging what would trigger, like the cold triggers it, too hot triggers it, stress triggers it. And so I don't know, I just have gotten to a place now where the past week I've had a very high HRV. I've had my low heart rate again. I'm usually at like 43, 44. Is like my lowest, and like around there is my average. And so when I was in Ireland and when I was stressed and when I was like in that beginning stages of the activations and everything, my average heart rate was like 56, which is very high for me. And so I'm starting to see all this start to regulate, which is just fascinating. And I don't know how to explain it. It's like now we're in this chapter, I think collectively, like if you're in this right now with me and you've been experiencing this the past few months, or like you think you've been experiencing it, I think that like right now with what happened yesterday, it was like like I said, 3i Atlas was maybe closest. And then tomorrow, we also have the new moon going on right now, Sagittarius new moon. But tomorrow we have this other thing, which I wasn't exactly clear on what it was. I think it's the winter solstice, but there's also this like another kind of like opening, or it's like a closing almost, it seemed, is what it felt like, and also what I was listening to a channeler talk about. And so it's like kind of what has been happening this end of the year cycle here with all this stuff going on. It's bringing those who are ready, which if you're watching this video, I feel that you're ready for this new experience here on Earth. And so I think 2026 is like I was saying in the beginning, the truth is being revealed so naturally. Like the average person, I don't know how else to say it, like humans in general are waking up to the truth. And those who are conscious of this right now, I think are going to be the leaders that are necessary for this evolution here on Earth. And so like Dolores Cannon's work says, or talks about, like those who have been under hypnosis in her work have communicated that they came here to Earth at this moment to help in the shift of consciousness. And so if you're one of those and you're here right now, then you are here to help in the shift of consciousness. And so that doesn't mean that you have to like start a YouTube channel and talk about it. You could be, and I say this example all the time, like you could just be baking cookies for your neighbors and like your friends, and you know, doing that, and like whatever you create will have the code in it, and everything is a ripple effect. When I went through my nutrition program, I went through Araya, and that was the first certification that I did in integrative nutrition. One of their like core principles that they teach on is the ripple effect. And so just by influencing one person, you influence the world, or like a pretty large scale thing. Like it's always fascinating to me. I forget how, like you can see it on LinkedIn, but there was another way of seeing this, like how connected you are. Like the person that you, like your idol, you probably are just like one or two connections away from them. Like you probably know somebody who knows somebody who knows them, or you know somebody who knows them. Like we're very close. And so I feel like that's coming out because we're all so interconnected. So that baking the cookies and having that influence on somebody, that will, you know, lighten their day, and then they influence your idol if they know your idol, just like as an example. And then your idol influences 5 billion quadrillion people. Like, you never know where your influence of the tiny little thing that you've done or said ends up, like where the completion of its influence is. And it doesn't matter, you don't have to know that. I don't even know if it's possible for you to know that. But what I do feel to be true is that right now, in the closing, it really does feel like a closing of the season of upgrades, you are being born into something new. I have chills with that. Like you're being born into the version of you that you were always meant to be. If Dolores Cannon's work is correct, then we came here to Earth for this moment on Earth. You were born on Earth for this moment. You were born to be this version of you. And that requires accepting who you're being called to be now in this season of life. And I was for so long called to be this whimsical, free spirit, trust falling in the universe version of me. And that served me. And I don't think that that's like fully gone. Like there still is that free spirit, whimsical part of me. But what I'm really craving now in this version of me that I think that I came to Earth to be, at least the beginning stages of it, is stable, is more, you know, in alignment with like luxury and wellness and like connection and community, and birds confirming that, and like growing a family even. Like I would love to meet my partner, and I was probably not going to meet my partner like in the middle of nowhere in Italy or living in a hay barn in Ireland. So that's kind of, I feel like, what I have to say on the energy upgrades. I think like to really close that off is what I did last night. Like I think there are things on YouTube where you can like receive the upgrades and the downloads and everything from 3i Atlas if it's for your highest good, and like go into that. I also think that like you are such an aware spiritual being that you know what to do. Like you just go into your heart and like choose what to receive, or choose to receive the upgrades from 3i Atlas if it's for your highest good, or from, you know, whatever is happening, the solar flares, like any upgrades or downloads that are available to you right now. And also I think it could be really beneficial to sit in silence and to just ask. Like number one, like your mind is a computer. Like it's designed to answer questions when you ask a question. So ask the question, whatever questions you have, and wait for the answer to come through. Your mind is the computer, but there is like a higher intelligence communicating through it. So you say, I want to connect with God, Jesus, angels, guides, 3i Atlas, whatever you want to communicate with, putting that it is of the highest truth and always having that protective layer around you. And then asking those questions like, what is my purpose? What am I being called to step into? Like blah, blah, blah. And waiting for that answer to come through. 21 days to know your divine guidance. If you want help, it teaches you like the different ways that you can communicate with the divine. So maybe you hear it, maybe you know it, maybe you feel it, maybe you sense it, maybe you smell it. Like there's different ways. Maybe it shows up in your reality later. Maybe you just like get the full story right there and then. It's different. But it could also be different for you now than it was last week. And so I think that's something else that keeps coming through. It's like, we know meditation's great, But now more than ever, I think meditation, and I'm getting chills with this, is more important, because it's not just mindful meditation and connecting you with the present moment. It's like it's opening you up to this new frequency and energy that's coming to Earth rapidly now that the doors have been opened through the awareness of truth. That's beautiful, and I really resonate with how that just came through, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Like, so many people are acknowledging truth, and by each individual doing that, we're like opening the door, like the gateways for this new frequency to come through. The battery's about to die. One moment. Okay, this is why I don't normally say like what we're going to talk about in the beginning, because that has been quite a long video, and so I do want to get into the topic of this 10x thing that just keeps coming through. There's a book on it, like 2x versus 10x. I was listening to a podcast on it. It came through from an influencer, like a financial influencer. It came through like a spiritual YouTube channel. Like, this topic has been all up in my face the past 24 hours, literally. So maybe I'll talk about it in another video tomorrow. But it's very much like a shifting from like a 3D mindset to more of a 5D quantum mindset to get everything that you want, but not have to do more, is pretty much the gist. And then the other thing was about like the loop and the cycle, and how really, I think, like, I'll just leave you with this, like, it just takes one, I thought I changed the battery, oh, it's about to die. It just takes one thing, one shift. Like, for me, maybe it's this notion thing. I don't know if this is gonna last very long, but the battery's about to die on both of my batteries. So for me, it's this notion thing, right? And so, like, maybe me getting organized is going to be the one thing that takes me out of a cycle of like inflammation and just not getting good sleep and blah 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 blah. Like, that's just an example, to like changing your whole life. And so it's kind of been like that, but we'll get into that in another video too. I love you guys so much. If you want to sign up for Dream Life Sleep Hypnosis, that is linked below in the description. Also, I will try and put it in a comment. If you want to join my New Year's Eve ceremony, also linked, or any of my 21-day programs or my 12-week program. And on Instagram, Substack, Patreon, TikTok, all Araya Amenti. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. We say bye. You were so good and you're so handsome.